Hello everyone and welcome to Metro Matters. I'm Mary Sitt. Have you ever stepped aboard our trains and wondered what passengers did with their tickets? Well, if you have a Q card, you simply tap and go. Or you can buy a ticket for $1.25 and hold on to it during your trip. You may see one of our fare checkers decked out in a fluorescent yellow vest asking to see your ticket or your Q card. Here to tell us more about our civilian fare inspectors and what role they play at Metro is Captain Felix Vara, who started his career at Metro in 1992 as a motorcycle HOV officer. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Mary.
Captain, when did we start this whole program with fare inspectors?
2014.
Okay, and why did we do it?
Well, basically, the resources, it's just a better use. Police officers checking fares, there was a little bit of, we could probably be doing our police officers, using our police officers a little differently. So the fare inspector idea came up, and it's worked out excellently. We're doing great. Our
How many
guys
do
are
we
out
have
there.
on staff?
We have 25 on staff.
Okay, now what is the role of fare inspector? Because they're not police officers, are
No, they are not. They are civilian, and their role is to be ambassadors to make sure that our customers know that they need to pay and that information about the rail line, things of that nature, that they need to tap the card if they have it. So basically, they're just there to make sure that patrons that use the system are paying and that those that are not are enforced by either getting a citation or possibly just a verbal warning. It depends on the fare inspector.
And they are authorized to write tickets.
That is correct.
Okay, and so what are the fines?
Well, for the first 30 days, it's $75, and that pays directly to Metro. After that, the citation rolls over to the City of Houston, and then it becomes a municipal citation. So failing to appear for that could result in a warrant for that person's arrest for failure to appear.
So Captain Vara, if a person decides, I'm going to skip that $1.25, it could cost him $75, is that right?
Absolutely.
Has the compliance gone up? Are more people starting to pay for their tickets now that they see these fare checkers around?
Well, the data isn't completely clear on that, but the idea is yes, that they are. Mainly because when you see a fare inspector, you're probably going to pay. The platforms that are unmanned, we really don't know. But generally speaking, yes, it is working.
So the ones that are staffed, when you
Yes.
look at those stats, who's paying, who's
That's
not,
correct.
compared to before the fare checkers were on board,
Absolutely.
it has gone up.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's good. And also, I guess passengers would feel safer too to see someone with a vest like that.
Absolutely. Studies have shown that the mere presence of somebody in authority definitely makes people feel much more safe.
What are some of the issues that you encounter, or that the fare checkers would encounter on the trains, that the fare checkers might have to, go up and sort of defuse?
Well, oftentimes there are individuals on the system that have not paid and sometimes just flat refuse to pay, at which time the fare inspector generally backs off, calls us, keeps an eye on the individual, and again, we remember this is just a $1.25 citation, so if the guy runs off, he runs off. But generally speaking, we want to make sure that everybody pays that needs to pay, and that the fare inspector's job is to ensure that payment. And if altercation occurs, our police officers are there to back them up.
So you're looking for a special person to be a fare checker. You don't want someone who's just like,
Absolutely.
okay, this is it.
Absolutely.
You have to have someone who's friendly to the public, who's inviting, but also who says, hey, you need to pay. Tell me what you're looking for.
More of an ambassador type person. This individual has to be able to assess the situation and make sure that, this is going too far, or, this guy, I'm helping him out, he understands. Probably, I have to say 90% of the interaction, it's positive. So they understand, oh, I forgot to tap, I'll tap.
When you hire, you get a lot of people applying for these jobs.
Absolutely. We just recently had 3 openings. We had over 100 applications, and out of the first 20 interviews that we had, out of those 100 applications, we filled the slots. So, absolutely. So we're at full staff right now.
And you start at what pay, can I ask?
It's around $15 an hour.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, not at all.
And they get to be outside.
And they get to be outside.
Not in front of a computer all day.
This is true.
Which
this
is okay,
true.
unless it's 100 degrees outside, right?
Well, that's another thing. We make sure they stay hydrated. We have them. Make sure they have water.
They carry water with them, right?
They usually carry it with them, or our supervisors or lead fare inspectors. Of the 25 that we have, 2 are lead inspectors. Okay. So they're the ones that make sure that they get their assignments, and they report to the sergeant of the police shift that they're on.
Now, if a situation gets out of hand, they are instructed to call in PD, Metro
That is
Police.
correct, absolutely.
And you guys are like around,
We're close.
nearby.
We're close. Yes, yes. I mean, obviously there may be times that the response may be a little bit longer, but generally speaking, we're there within 2 or 3 minutes.
Let's talk about the code of conduct, which Metro now has. What is the code of conduct, and who's in charge of enforcing it? MPD or fare inspectors?
No. The code of conduct is basically a set of rules that we've established to make sure the system remains safe. And it's just more or less a lot of the being nice to society kind of thing. Understanding, making sure that when someone gets up that's handicapped, that a person sitting in the handicapped seat would get up and allow the handicapped person to sit down, keeping your feet out clear from the aisle so people don't trip, basically keeping the music down, your conversations quiet, that sort of thing. Being respectful for everybody. And that does fall on the police. The fare inspectors do not have the authority to enforce our code. So basically our police officer would get there, and if it is a code violation, like if somebody got into an argument, but nothing to the extent that we would require an arrest, they're issued a citation, and basically the citation says, hey, you need to come back over here to Metro. You're not going to be able to ride for the next 24 hours because of your behavior. And so we will take them off the bus and say, or the LRV, say, take care of this first because you're suspended for 24 hours.
Is it a fine or just a suspension?
It's just a suspension. And so we want to make sure that this individual understands that we want them to ride, we need them to ride, but they have to behave themselves in a way
courteous.
and be courteous to everyone.
So don't eat on the train, don't drink on the train. You can bring your Starbucks in, but don't.
Technically, yes, that is
drink.
correct. That is correct.
Don't drink them.
Now,
Okay.
there's a slight difference. Now, the violations you mentioned are city ordinance. They could receive a ticket for
okay.
that. Probably, again, up to the officer's discretion. He could use the code of conduct. Sometimes that's a better tool than having somebody have to go to court and all that. We just say, hey, look, for the next 2 days, 3 days, and the officer gets to, has discretion to decide that for the next week you can't ride the bus because of your behavior. And then he can take this person, the person that's been the offender, can come to Metro, say, I want to set up it's not necessarily a trial, but a hearing, and say, look, this is what was going on. I don't think I deserve this. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. That sort of thing.
Does that happen very often?
Not really.
Probably
As a
doesn't
matter
get
of
to
fact,
that.
I looked at the numbers. Last month we didn't issue 1 code of conduct. The month before we issued 5. So
I bet most people, once they're confronted by an officer, he says, look, and they go, okay, and back off
Correct.
immediately, right?
Yes.
And then it's solved.
that's
it.
correct. That's correct.
And you know what I really don't like is getting on the train and seeing somebody on the handicap seat with feet sprawled all over, taking up the whole thing. It's so rude. But I don't really say anything because I don't want to get in trouble. I mean, I don't want them to be confrontational to me.
And that's why we have MPD Connect. You can get on your cell phone.
Oh, right.
Punch MPD Connect, and you can send a text. Hey, look, I'm on bus, 157 on the 82 route, and
Or the train number.
or
which
the
is always-
LRV number.
Right, which is on a little black number
That's
written on
correct.
the front, and just say
and just
what's happening.
text it, and that will get to our dispatcher. Our dispatcher will then say, okay, we'll send somebody out there, and hopefully we get there in time to observe the behavior ourselves.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll have a lot more courteous passengers. And
Yes, absolutely.
on
And
our-
again, like I said, the goal seems to be working because we're not having that many code of conduct violations.
Thank you so much, Captain Vara, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up next, we'll meet a lead fare inspector who says his job is more than just inspecting fares. We'll explain when we come back. Stay with us.
Welcome to Metro's Transportation Network and your new traffic and commute solution. Whether you choose bus or train, riding Metro is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Plan your trip. The Metro Trip Planner is your one-stop shop for using Metro services. Just enter your starting point, then your destination, and the Trip Planner does all the rest. 2. Pay your fare. Metro local bus and light rail fares cost just $1.25 each way. You can pay your fare using cash, the Metro Q fare card, or Metro Day Pass. Always on the go? Now you can pay your fare with the new Metro Q mobile ticketing app. It's free and available now via your app store. And 3, get ready to go. Once you've planned your trip and purchased your fare, all that's left to do is get up, get on board, and go. Learn more about Metro by visiting ridemetro.org or call 713-635-4000 for details. Travel the ride way with Metro.
We've been talking about civilian fare inspectors. Let's meet a lead fare inspector now. Rudy Delgado has been a fare inspector since Metro's program started in 2014. Rudy sees his job as being part ambassador as well. Thanks so much for being with us, Rudy.
Thank you for having me.
Why did you become a fare inspector?
Well, I love working with the community and I love working around people.
Okay, a lot of people would say, not me. So what about working around people is appealing to you?
Just the day-by-day things, talking to people, getting to know the neighborhood. I love downtown Houston. So the workers here, the people that live here, as well as just the atmosphere.
Now, you smile a lot, so you probably approach people on the train with a smile, is that right?
Yes, I try to.
And how is your job, part ambassador and part compliance person?
First of all, we have two parts of our job. One is ambassadorship. We try to become ambassadors. We get a lot of people asking for directions, how to buy tickets. We give information. We even give recommendations to restaurants.
Wow.
And nightlife. People ask, what do we do downtown? So that plays into our role as ambassador. Our second role is we are like a second pair of eyes and ears for the Metro Police Department. We're civilians with just a little bit of extra training in case something is going on. We can get on our radio and have the police come quickly.
Now, when you inspect the fares with the cue card, you have this little, it looks like a little machine.
Yes,
What
a
is
hit
it called?
device.
A hit device.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you stick the cue card in there, what happens?
It'll read if it's valid or if it's not valid. If it's not valid, we can read the card. We can read the history of the card to get the information.
Now, you have a lot of discretion as to whether you issue a citation or not.
Yes,
Tell me
ma'am.
about how you use that discretion.
If it's somebody that hasn't tapped in, let's say, 3 months or a couple weeks, but we
Right.
see them every day, chances are they'll probably get a citation. But if it's somebody that's tapped this morning, they were running to their train, so try not to miss it, that we just mainly tap your card and you're good.
What sort of reaction do you get from most people when you ask to see their cue card or their ticket?
We get a lot of compliance. People automatically know when they see us, they start taking their cards out,
Reaching
getting it
forward,
ready.
yeah.
So yeah, we get a lot of compliance.
Rudy, what do you do when tensions start to rise and you want to keep things calm on the train? There are other customers there. How do you just keep that calm?
If you're calm, you're cool, you're collective, chances are that person's not going to get even more excited. So a lot of times we try to de-escalate. We're like, hey, it's okay. What's the problem? We try to talk to that person. And a lot of times it'll calm them down, like, we're on your side. We just want to know what the problem is.
Okay. Can you tell me about a really unusual or exciting incident that happened on your watch?
I'm into music a lot, and I love it when some of the bands that play like at the House of Blues or at the right there by Bayou Place, where they'll come and ride the rail because they're trying to see Houston, and you see a lot of athletes as well.
So you see famous people on the
Oh
train?
yes, we do.
Who are some famous people you've seen?
Some of the Rockets players.
Oh, nice.
Well,
Cool.
if you're a sports fan, because I know some of the sports teams, they'll stay like at the Four Seasons, and they'll ride the rail trying to beat incognito, but it's hard.
So are you getting selfies here or getting?
No, we don't. We don't. We try to stay professional.
Okay,
We
you
try to
can't say
stay
come over here, sir,
professional.
you didn't tap, and let's get a
Correct,
selfie real quick.
Correct.
What do you like
Correct.
best about what you do, Rudy?
Just the excitement and the atmosphere of downtown. I really enjoy whatever city I'm in, the hustle and bustle of it all. And Houston has a real growing downtown area, and I love it.
When you're training other inspectors, what do you tell them? What's the message you want them to know?
We're the first face that people see when they're going to work, when they're riding the train. And we're also the last people they see when they're going home. So if we're the first people, we can actually just smile and say hi. We can affect their day where, you know what, they might have a good day today. Instead of like if it's somebody that has an attitude, that can really bring somebody down for the whole day. And we're also the last people that people see. So we go, hey, have a good day tomorrow. And where people are like just breathing like, it's over today.
Well, I'd like to see your face first thing on the train and last thing on the train. A nice smile.
Well,
thank you so
thank
much for
you.
being with us, Rudy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's all for this edition of Metro Matters. Until next time, you can follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, join the conversation on our blog at ridemetro.org. I'm Mary Sitt. Thanks for watching.